Reka and Jessica Rabbit. Welcome back to another episode of Soul Healer Podcast. Hey girl, what's happening?
Hey.
For those of you that are watching, I'm also tapping into a new platform today called the Wisdomapp. It's new to me. It may not be new to everybody else, but I also have that recording at the same time. So you may not be seeing this live, but the folks on the Wisdomapp will be able to listen to this episode live. Yay! I told y'all we was growing and evolving and trying new shit. Hey girl.
Hey.
How has your week been?
It's been all right. My week is weekend, just chucking along. I'm not looking forward to spring forward. So
That's coming up.
yes, on Sunday.
Damn. I felt like I just got on track with the fall back. No. Yeah, the fall back. Right. Oh, damn it. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna let it do what it do.
Yeah.
Girl, I was sickly this week. I think everybody in my house started off with either the sniffles, but mine always starts off with a scratchy throat. So I don't know if it was the pollen, dust, I don't know, stuff from school, but everybody was a little sickly and the nurturer gets the worst of it. So I was, all going through it. I'm glad that I don't sound like a man today while we're recording, because when I tried to jump on that JJ Vaughn morning show, I was like, oh, hey everybody. This is my voice today.
I've been catfishing y'all.
But I still looked pretty a little bit.
Yes.
So this week has not been bad at all. It's been a lot of blessings. So yeah, and you've been helping me as always.
Yes. So, we help each other. Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I think I say that almost every episode. Is words of affirmation one of your love languages? Like, why do I feel like I have to keep telling you how amazing you are? And
thank you. No, appreciate it.
So today's episode, no. Before I say what today's episode is about.
Okay.
How do you pronounce the word Niche?
Inch?
No, Niche.
You said ENCHE?
Niche.
Oh, your niche.
Okay. So I had this discussion with other people because I say niche.
I've heard that, but I've heard people say, yeah.
Yeah, I asked my husband, how does he pronounce it? He said niche. I asked my daughter, how does she pronounce it? She says niche. She asked her boyfriend and he said niche. Maybe it's a DC thing. Maybe we just a little hood, because I say niche. And even though it's like niche with CH, it sounds like niche like bitch. We just make it all sound the same. But if it's close, then hey, who will know? But my husband did Google it, and it says it can be pronounced niche, and niche. I'm like, how in the hell one word can have all of these different sounds? But there's really no right or wrong way to say it.
It's like Caribbean. Is it the Caribbean? Is it Caribbean? Was it caramel? Is it caramel? Is it caramel?
Right. Because I was telling my daughter, I was like, well, people in the UK say aluminium and we say aluminum. But she was like, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. I was like, whatever. Whatever. It's gonna be niche today. So the reason I'm bringing up this conversation about this is because on social media, and now we're moving over to YouTube, and even with work, people have always noticed all the different things I do. And I've had people come to me and be like, what is your brand? Like, because one minute I see this, the next minute I see this. And then on like TikTok and stuff, they ask you, what is your content about? Or finding your niche or niche. And I'm like, it could be whatever I want it to be. Like, don't box me in, bitch. 1 minute I want to put a recipe, then I'm gonna put a recipe. The next minute I want to do a hair tutorial, I'm gonna do a hair tutorial. And the same thing with the podcast. We talk about a lot of different things. So I don't feel that we have to conform or just focus on one niche.
No, you don't.
So what would you say your niche is? Like before we started doing the podcast and when you were just on social media, what was your main thing? Did you have a main thing you were focusing on?
No, because like you said, I always had on makeup. So it was always like makeup and then taking pictures or cooking. So, or the kids, it was like always like little different things or like inspirational sayings and things like that, or funny little memes. So it was like, I really didn't have a go-to, like, okay, go to my page, you're going to see this. No, you will get whatever the heck was going in my brain that day.
Right, because you were talking about verses in the Bible or some Bible trivia one day. And then, so yeah, I get it. And I want people to really see all aspects of me, because I may not always post my kids or something about mothering or being a wife. And I just want you to see all parts of me or experience all parts of me. And who knows, I don't know what someone may need at that time, but really it's not about them, it's about me.
Yes. And that's, I agree with you, because like, I don't put my kids on there as much. So it's like, this is me. This is all really about me. Everyone's like, oh, you put a lot of pictures of you. I'm like, it's my page. If you don't want to see it, then don't come. I mean, what am I going to take a picture of you? No, it's my page.
Right. With this episode though, we are definitely going to be exploring different things throughout our podcasting journey. And I know that I usually get the tea or the scoop about what's going on in the streets from either you or my husband, or he'll tell me about different movies coming out, different shows. And a lot of times I wouldn't know about these shows if you guys didn't tell me about it, or if someone didn't recommend it. And even going on Netflix, they say you may like this, or, this is 98% a match for you. So everybody else knows stuff that I don't even know about me. But I definitely want to try out, because I do look at YouTube videos or listen to podcasts that talk about different celebrities or different shows or different movies. So I would like to try that out. And you down?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm always.
I feel we have enough in common and like follow some of the same things or some of the same stuff. So okay. Well, let's give it a shot, girl.
All righty.
All right, so what you want to talk about first, though?
Okay, I love Georgia and Ginny. Was it Ginny and Georgia, Georgia, Ginny? Which one is it?
I think I always say Ginny first.
I think so too. Yes. So we could talk about that one first.
Okay. And I didn't know about that show until you told me. And then I found out that my daughter was watching the same show and she had finished all of the episodes. So I was like, damn, I'm late. I mentioned it to my mother. She was like, oh yeah, I watched that already. I'm like, damn. But what drew you to that show?
I saw it was a single mom, and they said she had her young, so she was navigating having her young, and then it had like some scheming and scamming that she did to get what she was. I was like, okay, let me see. So when I first started watching, I was like, I don't know. And then I was like, one day I said, let me just sit here and let it play. There's nothing else on, and I really got into it, and it was like, okay, I like this.
And it's on Netflix, right?
Yes, it's on Netflix.
So the reason with me, the little girl reminds me of my daughter. Little curly hair, light skin girl. Little curly hair, light skin. But I won't say all things about her remind me of my daughter, but she does struggle sometimes with her anxiety. And she had to go from different schools because with being co-parenting with her dad, he would want her to go to one type of school. I would want her to go to one type of school. She would stay with me. She would stay with him. So she was that new kid a lot, where she had to start from scratch. And so it helped me see some things, because it happened to me as well as a kid, where my mom switched me from my school. So all of my best friends, everything, and I was like that outsider, had to fit in, had to deal with bullying or whatever. So me watching Ginny and Georgia, I could relate to some of it. And then I'm like, oh damn, is this what kids are going through in this day and age? You know, with the social media and trying to fit in, and then the self-harm and not talking to your parents. And then to see how Georgia related to her daughter, I could see some of how I relate to my daughter, because a lot of stuff that I do, people are like, oh, you talk to her about that? Oh, you do that with her? And I'm like, yeah, because I knew how I was at that age.
I saw that too, because I mean, I skipped from school to school a lot. So I knew how it was, like you said, being a new person, that with bullying, that with the girls not liking you, and because they didn't know you, they didn't want to get to know you, and different things like that. And I saw, I had a close relationship with my mom when we were younger. So some things I probably knew that I shouldn't have known, but some things, so I saw the closeness that they had. And then at times I felt like Jenny having to be the caretaker of the younger siblings. So I knew that part. So I saw a lot of her in me. And then I'm like, okay, what do I not want to do with my kids? And reflecting. And then, like you said, looking at the kids now, I'm like, they go through so much more than we did. We didn't have social media. So if you got bullied, it was really mostly in school. And then once you went home on the weekend, you really didn't have to deal with it. But to have it 24/7, that has to be really hard. Like, and I know that parents go, just turn the phone off, just turn the TV off. But a lot of times, people they're not gonna want to do that.
Right. And then that's how you connect with most of your friends too. So we
Yeah.
used to just have the house phone and, three-way and all that other stuff. So to be on social media and wanting to still fit in, and then seeing what people post about you, and then everything is recorded, everything is screenshot nowadays. So
Hmm.
I think watching that show was really beneficial for me as a mom, because I don't want to be my kid's best friend.
Yes.
Like, that's not the type of relationship I want to have. And I remember being younger and my mom like, I'm not one of your little friends. I'm your
Hmm.
mother. But I still want to have a beneficial relationship where they can talk to me about certain things. I can feel comfortable opening up to them about certain things about myself, where I don't have to hide who I was or am with
Hmm.
my kids, because they're going to see the real me eventually. So I'm like, I don't have to tell you everything, but I'll let you in on my life a little bit. Because I don't want them to resent me for like, oh, you did that and you talked about me for doing this. It didn't.
Hmm.
So have your kids watched it?
No, my girls are still, I guess, not watching those shows as much. I, to be honest with you, I think they watch like TikTok a lot.
Hmm.
I try to watch some stuff like when I'm doing a hair, braiding the hair, doing the hair. I like to see what they're looking at. Oh, can I put something on Netflix? So I watch different things with them just to see what they're looking at and try to bring stuff to them. And they go, "Oh, your shirts are corny." So I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then something like with the self-harming, I don't want to introduce some things.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I don't want to let them know that if they feel a certain way, they can do this.
But a lot of times they know already. Not saying your kids do,
Hmm.
but when I
Yeah.
think that I'm bringing a topic up to my kids for the first time, they're like, "Oh, mom, I already know that."
My daughter said that to me about anorexia. She said, "Well, some girls have eating disorders."
Mm.
And I'm like, "Oh, they go through eating disorder phases." I was
Like
like,
the girl on Ginny and Georgia.
"Yes." And see, I picked that up because I had an eating disorder. And I saw that before I looked at the blogs. I picked up on it because
Mm.
when she went out to the restaurant with her friends, you noticed she was just pushing her food around. And then when she went to the house and he said, "Oh my God, you're so heavy." The look on her face, and then
You call her whale thighs or
some,
something?
yeah, something like
Ah,
that. And
God.
then she had to get high to eat.
Mm.
And then that's when she allowed herself to pick out. So I picked up on that and I said, "Ooh, that's not good." And no one else around her is picking up, but she's also the one that's going through, the parents are going through a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
So she has all this on top of that. I had an eating disorder for a long time. It was like I did not want to eat. I didn't want to get big. So I would not eat. I would throw up my food. And then my daughter started that. And I'm like, oh my God, no, 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 no. So now I don't want to be skinny. I'm like, okay, good. Okay. So we got through that. But that was hard seeing that, like to see yourself again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know you're not eating. I know I see the food in the garbage. I see the plates in the refrigerator that you're not eating. I'll finish this later. So
Yeah, I was the opposite because I tried to gain weight. I did it on, I was eating Twinkies, and eating all types of stuff. People thought I had a tapeworm. So I wanted to gain weight. So I didn't really know how other people experienced that. I just knew what I saw or heard about.
and see, I was skinny. That was the thing. They called me olive oil. I just didn't want to get bigger. I just knew. I just kept hearing, oh, when you turn into a teenager, those hips are gonna come, and and I'm just like, I don't want to be big. I don't, because first thing I think hips big. The women in my family are big women, so it's like I remember I was your size. I'm like, oh, you were. So
Mm,
I'm like, oh my God, that's where my future is going?
well, and then, okay, so moving from Ginny and Georgia, just even talking about the whole weight thing and body shaming and all that other stuff. Have you seen the SWV and Xscape
Yes,
show that just came out? Oh my God, I couldn't wait
yes.
for that show to come out. I love both groups.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I like one more than the other. But when I watched the first episode that just came out, I saw how, well, one, they have definitely changed over the years.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it
Yes.
happens when we get older. Sometimes we gain weight, we lose weight, whatever. But when Latasha was saying that her sister was body shaming her by saying if you had an ass to kiss, I didn't agree with that.
Yeah.
I
No.
didn't consider that body shaming. I mean, I have been told I had a flat ass and all this other stuff. And I used to talk about my aunt, like, you look like you got hit in the butt with a frying pan and your butt's so small. And so I was used to giving back what people did to me. But to say if you had an ass to kiss, I don't think that's body shaming.
No, I mean, and there's sisters, and sisters will do that to each other. So, but then I saw, did you see her mother? They were trying to come together so they can talk. And then the mother, I saw her, I said, okay, she favors one over the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, oh, she's jealous.
I saw when she whispered she jealous. I was like, why would you do that? This is the point she's trying to make right now.
I deal with that with my sister. My mother has made comments and she said, well, your father said this. I was like, no, you would make comments. Granted, my sister and I are 7 years apart. So of course, if my dad would say, oh, you were beautiful. Well, if I was 17, you're only what, 10, 8, so he's not going to sit there and like, oh my gosh, you're beautiful. You're a little girl. He's trying to get me ready to become a woman, to become, eventually get married and have confidence in myself. So
Mm-hmm.
she's like, oh, your father just said all this praises to you and didn't say anything to her. And I said, no, he did. And my sister just didn't want to do the girly stuff. She didn't want to wear makeup. She didn't want to do this. And then when she finally did for her prom, I was like, oh my God, you look so beautiful. I said, you were beautiful before, but oh my God, look at you. Like, you look like a shining star. Why don't you do this more often?
Mm-hmm.
And my mom tried to blame it on me. Oh, she could never live up to be you. I was like, but how is that my fault?
Yeah, I don't
Y'all
think
the
that
one,
anything to do.
y'all the ones saying stuff.
But it was with them, it was weird because the tables had turned, because if she felt that her mom was showing her sister more favoritism, it seemed like her sister was trying to find a way to make herself seem like the victim. I don't know. It was just a weird dynamic. And I see she bought her daughter Ocean.
Mm-hmm.
It's like her backup. Like, nah, they not gonna team up on me. Come with me, boo. Like that whole thing was weird. But
Yeah.
it definitely seems like from the previews it's gonna be Latasha. There's
I think
a lot of between her and Coco.
Well, Coco always ain't ready. Coco always look like she just, I ain't here with it. I don't want to do this. Because Coco was like, look, we can have all the problems. We just get on stage and we do what we do. And, we deal with that later. And it should kind of be like that. You don't have to be all in harmony to come on.
Right.
You can put that smile on, do what you got to do, make your money, and then we'll deal with that later. But
Because
when
it's
you
a
have,
business.
it is. And then I think because of Xscape has too many lead singers,
Mhm.
and that's the issue. So when you have too many hands stirring the pot, somebody's going to want to add some ingredient that they're not going to want it. Other ones are going to want. And Candy and Tiny, all them, especially Candy and Tiny, have become this big platform now on their own. So they're like, I really don't need this. I'm just doing this for y'all. And
Right.
Candy's another one. Candy be real quick to shut it down. I'm done.
I got businesses, bitches.
Yeah.
I'm known worldwide.
Right. So I don't need y'all. I'm doing this for y'all. Like, this pocket change for me. So it's like I'm looking forward to seeing that. I hope they do a concert or a tour. That would be a lot of fun. But all those different personalities, and we're all older. I think they're in their 50s because we were the generation after them.
Yeah. I think SWV are in their 50s. And then
Yeah.
I think I heard some people from Xscape saying, well, we're almost 50. So they're
Yeah.
like right behind them a little bit. They're like
Yes.
two sisters.
Yes. So they were like high school, middle school, and then we were like elementary, like right behind them. So it's like we're at that age now where our hormones and our filter gets slimmer and slimmer. Those
Our patience
hormones,
is really, really tiny.
and yes, and you just start speaking what's comes to the top of your mind, and you don't care what nobody says and how nobody feels, and you're like, oh well.
Yep. Well, I definitely look forward to seeing what they have in store. And for those of you listening or watching, the SWV show is on, is it Bravo?
I believe so. I believe so.
It's Bravo. So I know on my DVR, because I watch Housewives of Atlanta, it popped up like it was under my DVR series of Housewives of Atlanta, but it said what did it say? The R&B, damn it, what was it called?
I forgot.
The ladies of R&B,
Because all I did was
the queens of R&B.
Because you put SWV, search SWV, and it'll come up with Xscape. It'll
Right.
come up on thing. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's all under there because Candy's husband worked for Housewives and all that. So I believe all that's connected. And with Candy being part of it, I think
Yeah, he did like R&B divas or something. But I think it definitely said the queens of R&B and then SWV and Xscape or something. So if someone wants to search that up to see what's going on, or just type in SWV or Xscape, I'm sure it will still pop up.
Yes.
But also, well, we have a couple of different shows that we've been watching. Like and I know everybody's been watching BMF. If you haven't been watching BMF, you're a rock. BMF, that shit is crazy.
That father is messy.
The father, Charles.
Yes.
I just wanted to punch him in the screen. And then the lady is like, if I could just pull her hair, just like, you ain't gonna mess with her husband like that. Like,
we share frying pans.
I'm sorry.
Spoiler alert.
I did not say spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. For anybody listening or watching, I will put it in the comments. Spoiler alert. But yes, see, we're not used to talking about all of this stuff that's going on the TV streets. So yes, spoiler alert. We done talked about Ginny and Georgia. We done talked about SWV. So now BMF, spoiler alert, if you have not watched BMF, then you may not want to continue listening. But Mr. Charles. Girl.
When he pulled up at that skating rink, like he wasn't doing nothing. Oh, let me get in with your mama.
I was hoping he got caught though. I was hoping
he's being sloppy.
sloppy as fuck. Like, your son already saw you. That didn't give you a pass to continue being a sneaky link. Like, that didn't give you a pass to do that. And then when the lady popped up at his house, I was like, walk in on him, hear the conversation.
Girl,
She was boom at the sink.
that has come in so many times in real life in the past. The heifer then showed up at his job, the house, a couple times. And I was like, so you really gonna do this? So that's when I had to get ghetto on her and let her know I may be little, but I pack a mighty punch. He was, but I don't understand, why do y'all do that?
But did
Why?
you have any idea?
Oh yes, I had
No,
ideas.
and then she still kept popping up.
Yeah, she would come in and out, and then it was just like, will you stop? And I think she was getting, because see, you know what, she was like, say a couple of years younger than I am now. So when I was thinking back to that, and we were like real early 20s, I'm like, why would you want a little boy at this age? And you just want to be so destructive. And because she told him, because he was with her before me, and he said, oh, go ahead and go find someone else. Get somebody your own age. You want to live your life. So he found somebody, and then she got mad. So I mean, like, with this, like, why do some side chicks have to be messy like that? Why are you showing up? Why are you like?
Because they like the rush, I guess, the adrenaline, the oh well, it's not gonna be me. Like, I mean, I don't gotta deal with it. I don't know. I don't have the mind of a side chick. So
Yeah, I mean, I think
I
if
don't know why they do what they do.
I don't either. Because if I was one, I would play my part, stay in the back. No need to bring no conflicts to y'all. I knew what it was when I got with you. So there's no need for me that all of a sudden want to be the main chick. No. And if you want to make me the main chick, no. So,
Yeah.
but y'all, and then when she found that receipt, I was like, yes.
The motel. He was trying to say that the bed vibrating was messing up his flow. Fucking vibrating bed. Put a quarter in it.
But then he said, I was cleaning. It must be one of them houses I was cleaning. So you just gonna clean, pick up a receipt, and put it in your pocket, huh, sir?
Yeah,
Huh, sir?
that's crazy. He should have already knew he was caught.
And then she
like,
knew
I'm gonna cause a scene. I'm gonna cause a fucking scene.
But she knew it, and I'm glad she said something, because she knew it, but she didn't have any evidence. So she said, okay, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut until I have everything that I need. And now how you gonna get out of this one?
What about shitbag? What's his name?
Oh yeah.
Is it Lamar? What is
I
his
think
name?
it is Lamar.
Oh gosh. The whole time that girl was laying on the bed with him, I was like, can she smell the shit in this little what is it, colostomy bag?
Yeah, I've been with, not my grandfather's friend. I think he got one from the war, and it would go off. I guess like it farts too, and it was. So for those who have to have it, I'm sorry for y'all. I wish I had something else for y'all. I didn't know.
It's just not a lingering smell. It's just when it farts.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. You can't smell it until it farts. So when
I think he might know she playing him. What you think?
I think he knows. A lot of times they know. It's just he feel like this is the best I'm going to get, because look at me, until he finds somebody else.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm still frowning, thinking about the bag. My face was all balled up. I'm like, girl, what's wrong with you? But what about Lala? You think Lala is playing?
Yeah. Lala doing her thing now.
She just be wanting to show her body. I'm like, look at Lala naked
again. I know, again, like every show, here come Lala. Like, look. No, Lala doing it. I'm proud of Lala.
She gets better with her acting.
Yeah.
Because
She's
at
like,
first she wasn't that good. I don't
yeah.
that good.
Well, you know who, well, she's better than Lisa Ray, because Lisa Ray stayed in that diamond. She been diamond forever. Her whole acting. I'm like, girl, you don't take acting classes. Like, you still want to act like you fresh off the scene, huh?
Some people you can't take the hood out of them. Like, 'cause that's how she is in real life. So people probably like keep it, make it real, make it real.
Yeah.
Like people used to talk about Beyonce, how she would do interviews for a long time.
Oh yeah, she was
Couldn't
hood.
take the Texas out of her for a minute.
They say, I mean, what Charlamagne talked about her, talk about, yeah, she came in there with that bucket of chicken, that hot sauce, talk about, huh, I want to eat my chicken.
The hot sauce in her bag swag.
And this is way before she was saying she keeps that hot sauce in her bag. And I guess, he said it. He was like, yeah, she hood. Like, some of them are. Some of the cutest ones are like, oh, wow, you so ratchet there.
I'm glad you brought up Charlamagne, because I've been seeing Angelayee in the headlines recently from that tamronhall.
Oh, yeah.
They coming for her. Like, nobody was speaking up about this stuff, about any issues that I saw with Angelayee until she did the interview.
Yep. And she does not have the protection of Charlamagne and Envy. But I think Charlamagne and Envy took a lot of heat for her.
Now she's taking it.
Because she's all alone. Because I think in Philly, she's on a radio station and it's kind of dry, to be honest with you. It's dry. It's not giving me the same vibes as when it was on the morning show. Maybe because I started with the morning show when they first started in 2010. My kids were young. We were listening. That was like the good thing in the morning. Like, going to work was fun because it was like your most consistent morning show. It had not changed. It was the same people. You got to know their personalities, characteristics. And I thought they were vibing good. And then they sideswiped them. She was like, yeah, I want to do my own thing.
Do you agree with some of the women? I've seen a response from Erica Mena from Love and Hip Hop and Lil Mama. Also,
Lil Bow Wow.
Lil Bow Wow. I don't know why.
Lil Bow Wow.
Oh, but I've only seen them responding. Like, Erica Mena was like, oh, is this the same one that knew that he was married the whole time while I was dating him and never said anything but would be there and hanging out and this and this? Is this the same one playing the victim? And then Lil Mama saying, like, you didn't stand up for the women that were there and they feel like they're the only ones in the room. Do you feel they trying to just make themselves relevant to get their little extra 15 seconds? Or, like, do you feel it's Angelayee's place to feel like she have to be Captain Save-A-Ho? Or I'm not saying
I was saying Captain Save-A-Ho.
You were just thinking out of your head. I read your mind. But I don't feel like if I say something, let's say we're interviewing somebody on here and I'm asking them questions, I'm asking them what the people want to know. And like, I don't feel like it's your place to be like, wait a minute, Reka. I don't know. What do you think?
No, because like the time I was on JJ morning show and that guy said something and it triggered me. No one came to my rescue in my defense. So I didn't expect them to, because if you're your own person, you should be able to defend yourself. If those girls felt like they were taken advantage of or they were asking the questions, you should know already. Charlamagne's messy. He was with Wendy Williams. For all y'all old Wendy Williams fans from back in the day when she was on Hot 97, WBLS, then she went to Hot 97, then she went back to she was on Kiss, then she was on Hot 97, then she went to WBLS. He was with her on WBLS. He was with her when it was a toe was just a toe. Yes, I remember Charlamagne from way back then, honey, when you used to say all that stuff that you wouldn't say now. But I remember all that before. So we knew he was messy. He started with the messiness with Wendy. So he learned from her. So y'all should expect he's going to bring up the stuff that maybe Envy won't say. And then Angelayee, she really wouldn't, she would have her own little commentary of stuff. Now, I don't know if that was your whole little niched the little messiness crew? Is that what you're trying to get? But now you're not trying to do that? But, you know, now that you don't have your covering, stuff is good. They're going to come at you now. It's not going to be directed at the whole group. And the guys probably say, you know what, we'll take this heat, we'll take this heat. And she has to understand that, you know. And now we're in a different thing, woman empowerment. The Black women want to stick together. So they feel like, even though she's mixed, you still say that you're a Black woman, so you should have been standing up for the Black women. You should have said no, but hey, I mean,
I'm not fighting everybody's battles.
no.
Like, everybody got their own mouthpiece. Like, speak up for yourself. And if you felt some type of way at that time or whatever was going on in your life, that has nothing to do with me. Yes. Like, even it wasn't Angelayee's place to tell Erica Mena that, you know, he got a wife. She probably thought she knew.
She like,
some people don't give a fuck. Like the side chick. Like,
yeah, and then no. Yes, like Erica Mena, okay, you acting like you didn't know he had a wife, right? But 9 times out of 10, you would know because, honey, the writing be on the wall that they have a wife or they have a girlfriend.
Right.
Let's not be stupid. Let's not be like, oh, I do. Girl, bye. He don't spend the night. He don't come over to you, and you can get him certain times. You're never around on holidays, never on weekends, this and this. So you didn't know the man was married? Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know how long ago that was, but I'm like, okay, you never seen any articles, any pictures, nothing.
You didn't ask anybody, did he have a girlfriend? Or even if the person, every married man and woman do not wear a ring. So you can't say, well, he didn't have a ring, because some of them don't. Some of them, oh, that's so cliche, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to do that. So you can't even really say that. But you know what happens? The truth hurts when a person hears another person say the truth about them. And even if it's not about them, or if it's about someone else, but it's close to their story, yeah, the truth hurts. So sometimes they go, oh, dad, that's what I look like? That's what it sounds like? So now they're getting upset. But like you said, she didn't have to tell her that, you know, he got a wife. I mean,
she's like, do your research.
Yeah. Yes.
That you fuck with, that you open your legs for. So it's like,
And you think they're really even married to Erica? That he had a wife?
At time, it might not have. Like her morals changed once she got cheated on, you know, a couple of times. So I don't know. Yes. I don't know how that whole thing goes. But speaking of podcasts, girl, that shit you sent me on TikTok with the man and the washcloth.
Oh my God.
I saw that was actually a podcast. But okay, for those of you listening that don't, okay, there's this clip going on TikTok about you know the name, you don't know the name of the podcast, do you? Well, no, we're not giving, no, this is not to publicly support nobody else's podcast, but the man was like, what did he say? The lady asked him if he uses a washcloth. Like, I don't know how the conversation started.
Well, they chose to wait till their Black host or co-host was gone to have this conversation, which I thought was a little iffy.
That's why he made the Black see, I didn't even know it was a Black co-host on that podcast.
Because they said, oh, funny that we talk about it when the only Black person isn't here.
Oh my goodness.
So, and like they panned the whole room to show.
So he was like, no, I'm not Black. What do you mean? I'm not a Black person. Or I'm not homeless. No, poor.
The poor, only the poor use washcloths.
Only the poor or Black people use washcloths. And I looked in the comments, people was like, what? You dirty motherfuckers. Like, what do you mean? I only heard of the saying, like, some people, I don't know who's listening to this, but I'm not saying it in a racially type of way, but I had only heard that, you know, maybe some Caucasian people don't wash their legs. They just let the soapy water or whatever just drip down from their body and rinse their legs off. But to hear that somebody thinks that only Black people or poor people use washcloths, I thought, like, what do you wash your face with? Washcloths help. They have them at the fucking hotel.
Yes, they have the disposable washcloths now, like the ones for the people that have breakouts. So like you have a like sometimes if you don't wash your
Allergenic
washcloth,
or something.
yeah, so like you so that you get a fresh, clean washcloth on your face. So just try to stop because one time I thought acne was horrible. So I was like getting that to make sure maybe some of my washcloth or the soap that I'm washing the washcloths in is breaking it as well. So they had those, I'm like, and they always talk about wash your face, but maybe they don't, and that's why they're promoting all these things. It's like some girls go, oh, I just take the makeup wipe and use it on my face. I'm like, no, but you really gotta rub it in there and take the washcloth to exfoliate and stuff. And or even so, like some people say they didn't wash their feet. I didn't know you had to wash your feet. Like, yes, like the soap doesn't just run down your legs and happen to hit your feet. No, you have to.
You got in between your toes and all
Yes,
of that. Like, I
just.
feel okay. So people may use loofahs,
Mm-hmm.
but using the bar of soap on your body, I don't see that as clean as, like, what if it's other people in your house
I was about to
and
say
you
that.
got pubic hairs and all that type of shit? You got underarm hair in the freaking soap bar. It's all embedded now and stuck, and y'all are sharing this. That's
No,
gross.
it is gross. I mean that's just like saying only poor people use towels. Like we just put on our robe and air dry. Like
Yeah,
I
I thought that was
no, you can say I'm poor. I don't care because obviously you say that I'm black, brown, or whatever. But I'm going to use a washcloth. My grandmother, who was mixed, she had washcloths. She had a whole plethora of washcloths. Her mother used washcloths, but maybe she was considered poor. I don't know. I mean, I don't. Where did I get this stuff up at?
I
Like
don't know
some,
where they get this stuff from.
cause like what was it? That one actor, was it? I forgot. I forget his name from Baby Mama and his wife. Oh, we don't bathe our kids daily. We throw them in every time they start to stink or something. I'm like, that's every day.
Mm, depending on
Uh,
their age too.
yes, I mean, shoot,
First.
kindergarteners. I had to put deodorant on my little preschool kindergarteners. So yeah, they need to get the little funky tails. Even babies, they get all that nasty milk under there and start smelling sour. Like my grandmother, she might be the lady on Color Purple. Your kids smell so clean. I'm like, you want me to be your maid?
Yeah, you gotta scrub the back of the ear. You gotta,
Hmm.
it's different things you gotta do. You gotta, like, just keeping the soap in your hand. And I have, when I didn't have a washcloth near me, or I was at somebody else's house or something, I might have put the body wash or something in my hand,
Hmm.
soap it up, and then rub it all over my body. But if I had access to a washcloth, I would use the washcloth. And it's like sometimes the washcloths helped you to exfoliate your skin if
Yes.
you don't have the loofah, because, like, you get the dead skin and stuff that's still
Hmm.
there, the layers of lotion and cocoa butter, Vaseline on your skin. So to think that, to say that Black people or poor people are the only ones, like, that's another time I wanted to go to the screen and just punch them.
Yes, because that's not true. I mean, you should use something besides just your hand, because then you're not getting. To me, you're not really getting in there and
Yeah,
getting clean.
that's just like saying, well, yeah, no, I don't use, or I use lotion. I'm not like those white people.
Yeah.
That's stereotyping
Mm-hmm.
everybody to say no person of a lighter complexion or Caucasian use lotion. They might use lotion too. I can't say every race. I mean, the whole entire race don't do it.
Yes.
They
Yeah, I
might not
mean,
use cocoa butter. They might not use shea butter, but they
I
got
mean,
different types of lotion.
yes. Now I can see if they say, "Oh, black people use dish rags." Yes, I know that a lot of black, especially down south, they will have a dish rag. I know that they have a dish rag over a sponge. A sponge is dirty. Da, da, da. I've heard that. I've heard that, but washing your body is different.
Yeah.
Uh,
So everybody just go invest in some washcloths. The stock may go up. Uh, but before we go, I'm sorry, you were going to say something?
No, I'm good.
Oh,
Go ahead.
okay. Well, as I mentioned, well, I didn't talk much about the Wisdom app, and I was telling you guys that I'm also recording on the Wisdom app. I don't have any type of partnerships with them or anything. I'm still new to the app. But for those of you who don't know, the Wisdom app is like a audio platform where you can start different discussions. You can listen to other people's discussions on any types of topics. There are mentors on there that want to teach people or coach people. There are a lot of life coaches. Some people just talk about music or whatever is dear to their heart. So I am recording right now live on the Wisdom app, and I saw about 14 people came into the room to listen to us. So thank you guys if you're still there. Thank you for joining and listening to us talk about what is your niche and a lot of different topics that came to us or different shows that we're talking about this week. We're trying something different, but you can also check us out on all of the other platforms. Soul Healer Podcast. It's the link is in the bio. But before we close out, this has been a highlight for the week because I think it came out was it this weekend?
Yes, this weekend.
It came out this weekend. So spoiler alert for those of you who haven't checked it out already, the Chris Rock special.
Ooh.
It is on Netflix.
Yes.
Some people got to watch it live. I watched it the next day on Netflix with my husband. Oh, I like that name, husband. Hey, husband. I'm gonna call him that today. My hubby. Did you watch it when it came on live?
No, I think we watched it the next day. I didn't even know it was coming on live. I would have liked to seen it live, but I think we watched it the next day.
Yeah. I was waiting throughout the entire show to see when he was going to talk about the slap, the Will Smith situation. But I noticed that he was dropping little pieces as he went along. Did you think he was just immediately going to talk about it?
I didn't think he was going. I thought he was going to end with it and do like Chris Rock does, because Chris Rock is Chris Rock, and he said he's a punk. So
he said that himself.
He said it. He was like, yeah, he came after the guy he knew he could beat up.
He did say that. He was like, everybody called him a bitch. This person called him a bitch. This person called him a bitch. This person called him a bitch. But did you notice that Chris Rock kind of looked like Mario? I was watching the show. I was like, why does he favor Mario, the singer?
Yes.
We love you. So if y'all haven't seen it, just look at it. Just compare two pictures of both people. I'm like, is that his daddy?
It might be. He said he was paying for a whole bunch of abortions, so one of them may have slipped through.
Oh my gosh, him and that abortion thing. When he said the thing about you should be able to kill a child
until they were
to the age of 3 or 4, I was like, I don't know how to feel about this.
I'm
supposed to be laughing.
That was I think too far, because that, I mean,
like, that's murder.
It is, like, to say that, I mean,
but people think feel abortion is more murder.
That's true. So I guess he said that in a way to make people look at abortion differently. I don't know, but he said he's paid for it. And I was like, well, whose are you paying for? Were you paying for your daughters? Or was it for,
he said women's abortion. So he didn't say they were women I was dating. It could have been a lot of different women. He probably paid for some of his homeboys.
Probably, yeah.
Chicks to get abortions too. So, but oh gosh, I was like, did he have to say that part? I guess that's the thing about comedians. They push the buttons. They don't care who is going to rile up or what it's going to...
I know. I know. But But then I've thought about something. I said, Chris Rock, you should know. Yet that show, Everyone Hates Chris, was supposed to be about your life. So you know everybody always punched you in the face. So you already know when you say something, somebody's going to do something. They're going to react. That's the whole reaction you've gotten your whole life. So why would this be different? Oh, because you decided to say this here. And I think that's the thing with Will Smith. I think you waited to say it here in a public place where you thought I was not going to react. But you wouldn't say this to me behind closed doors.
Yeah.
So why do this now on this platform? Like I wasn't going to,
Yeah. I mean, I liked the show.
Mm-hmm.
Did laugh, and I was noticing. I pay attention to the weirdest shit because the whole time my husband's like, he definitely seems like he's on coke right now. Like he's just all over the place. I was like, you think so? You think
He was a little ADHD-ish, like boom, 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 boom. Like my Adderall did not kick in yet.
And he kept doing this thing with his hand. I kept looking at his hand, and at first I thought he was doing like he was trying to count how many things that he said or something. Because if you look at it again, he kept doing this thing where he was putting his fingers together and like he was just tapping. I was like, maybe that's his nerves. Maybe that's how he calms down.
I was thinking that
to focus. So I was like, because I know when I'm driving and stuff, sometimes I pick with my finger and I don't really notice I'm doing it until I stop and I'm like, stop it. Why are you doing that? But it could be how he calms himself and stays grounded. But I couldn't stop looking at it. I was like, why is he doing that? Why is he doing that? It was fucking with me.
Because that ADHD was kicking in. ADHD was going, and just like,
right.
This Adderall has not kicked in yet. Why hasn't it kicked in?
But when you said that he's always been punched in the face and he picks with people and he picks and picks and picks and doesn't expect them to react. And I know, I don't know if you had a chance to catch it, but I know I mentioned Marlon Wayans had did a stand-up. And most of his stand-up was talking about the Will Smith and Chris Rock situation. That was mostly his whole thing. But he was talking about how Chris Rock heckled him when he first started out. Took his girl, all of this stuff. And he was saying what happened on that day had nothing to do with Chris Rock, had nothing to do with Jada, had nothing to do with Will, but had something to do with me. He was like, God loves me because God knew how much he was fucking with me. And he was like, no, karma's gonna get him. Karma's gonna come back to him. He was like, it happened because of me. It was my payback that I could never get because I was this little nigga that he took my girl, he took my job because he was like, I was supposed to be on I was supposed to be the rib man. Just one rib. It's like I was supposed to be the rib man, and I was supposed to do this, and I was supposed to do that. So I was like, "Damn, Chris."
Yeah, Chris got a lot coming back to him, and I think he thinks he's untouchable now.
But now he's single and lonely. Can't find love.
No, because you two babies are paying for everybody abortion. And paying all these girls, giving all these girls. So he being that sugar daddy. He being that, oh, I need this, I need that. So he's not going to find love. You're going to find the girl that needs to be taken care of. And then once she finds a person that she really wants to settle down with, then she's going to leave you alone because now she's going to get everything that she wants from him. And it doesn't matter if he doesn't have money.
Right.
And I mean, Chris Rock ain't the cutest guy that you would want to have on your, no. So.
Not at all. I think Marlon Wayans was even talking about when he was like 5 shades darker than he is now. He looks totally different. So I don't know if he's had any cosmetic work other than getting his grill fixed and all that other stuff. I don't know. But he was like, remember when Charlamagne was...
I was about to say that.
And now he's this color. But I don't know. I'm glad he spoke about what he needed to say, got it off his chest. He said it hurt. It's like, yeah, but I liked the show. I did like the show. I don't think I had a favorite part or anything.
Yeah.
But it was a good show. So for those of you who haven't seen the Chris Rock special or the Marlon Wayans special, check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it looks like we have a guest waiting to come on, and we were about to end, but let me see who this is.
Okay.
We have Matthew Burrus. He's on the autism spectrum and has a passion for podcasting. Okay, let's see what Matthew has to say before we get off. And let me see. Matthew's joining us in 3, 2, 1. Hello, Matthew. How are you?
Oh, I'm good, Reka. By the way, did I pronounce that right? Reka?
Yes, you pronounced it right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. So it's not just me here. I'm here with my co-host, Jessica Rabbit.
Hi, Matthew.
Oh, hello, Jessica.
Hi.
Hi, Jessica.
Hi, Matthew. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good, Jessica. I'm good. I saw your subject called "What is your niche?" again. So like I thought I might come up on here and join you ladies for a while.
Okay, well, we were about to get off, but we are happy to talk to you for a moment. And I am so glad you said it the way I said it. Because I was talking to her. I was like, how do you pronounce it? I say niche. She says niche. So you said niche too. I like that.
Yes. Thanks.
So I was talking a little bit about your niche. Well, I don't really know your niche, but I was talking about being on the autism spectrum and podcasting. And Jessica Rabbit, she has her children are on the spectrum as well.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit about her, even though it's not really my business to tell, but
no, it's okay. It's okay. And I used to teach.
Well, yeah, I am on the spectrum, and my niche is well, if you look at my wisdom talks, most of the stuff I do, well, I talk mostly about pro wrestling and comic books. I'm a huge fan of comic book superheroes, Batman being my all-time favorite.
okay.
And for pro wrestling, I'm a fan of the WWE. I like AEW. I watched WCW and ECW back in the day. And actually, I took a break from it for a while. I got a little tired of it, but then about 4 years ago, about 4 years ago, I got back into it, and thanks to Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, who's Ric Flair's daughter, and now I talk about classic matches. I have a show called Tuesday Night Wrestling, which comes on every Tuesday night at 6:05, and I also have one on World Class Championship Wrestling. With the Von Erichs back in the '80s, that comes on Wednesday nights at 10:10, and and then. And as far as comic books, superheroes, like I have one called Superhero Sunday that I'm going to be bringing back next Sunday. So that's Sundays in the afternoon. So yeah, those are my niches. I guess you could say.
Okay.
So by you liking those things, do you feel like at any time you can just change it to something different, or do you feel like now, since people know you for doing that, you have to stick with it?
That's a good question. Well, I also forgot to mention that I do American Horror podcasts, which I talk about episodes of American Horror Story. That comes on Tuesdays at 1. But yeah, well, every now and then, I'll change it up a bit, but yeah, it's just going. But also, you have to realize where your bread is buttered, because when I do the wrestling shows, like I get a lot of old school fans come on here. They'd say like, "Oh yeah, I remember, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. Oh yeah, I remember watching WWF in the '90s," or I even had one lady whose father was a jobber for Portland Pacific Northwest Wrestling, which was an NWA territory where Roddy Piper wrestled in before coming to the WWF, and she actually met Piper when she was a kid, and so yeah, you just have to have a balance, so to speak. You just got to have a balance.
Yeah, I completely understand. Well, I thank you so much for joining us. We are actually recording the podcast for us to put on all of our platforms on tomorrow. Yes, this episode is dropping tomorrow. So you guys on Wisdom are catching it live. And this episode will be titled, "What is your niche again?" So thank you so much, Matthew, for stopping by. And yes, definitely check us out on YouTube under Soul Healer Podcast and on all different platforms, but you get to see the audio because right now you're just hearing see the video. I'm sorry. Right now you're just listening to the audio, but you get to see our faces. And we're so pretty.
Yeah. You look very beautiful, Reka.
Oh,
I mean,
thank you.
Are you Hispanic?
No, I'm not. I am blacker than black. African American.
All right.
Nope. All right. Well, thank you so much, Matthew, for joining us. And for everyone else on Wisdom, thank you for joining us. I am now logging off, and we are going to end this podcast on the video platform as well. So until next time, we will speak with you and see you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.